I call to meeting the regular meeting of the Board of Public Works tonight, Tuesday, May 11th, 2021. First up is messages from board members. Do we have any messages from the board tonight?
I do. Surprise. I just want to say, 'tis the season. Spring is here, summer's on the way, and that means road work in Bloomington. So some is ongoing and some is new. So just expect road closures, lane closures, sidewalk closures. But as our Director of Public Works says, Adam Weisen says, have patience and have grace. And so be sure to do that, because cicadas are also going to be around, and that's going to cause a little extra angst in all of us. So be safe, have fun, but follow COVID guidelines. Thank you.
Thanks, Beth. Okay, any other messages from the board? Alrighty. Next up, we have the opening of sealed bid or quotes for the 7th Street protected bike lane improvements.
So we opened those were advertised and noticed to be open at yesterday's work session. Those were for the 7 line. And so that took place yesterday during the publicly notified work session.
So are we going to award those tonight?
Yes.
It's on the agenda.
The last item on the agenda.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
5 under new business. Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so next up is petitions and remonstrances. So like Adam mentioned, this is an opportunity for public comment on anything that is not on the agenda tonight. So if you have public comment on something that's not on our agenda, go ahead and use the reactions to raise your hand or put that in the chat, please.
Yeah, I don't see anything, Dana.
Okay. All right. Seeing none. Next up, we have consent agenda. On the consent agenda, we have the approval of minutes for April 27th, 2021, the service agreement with Evans Time LLC for the parks equipment inspection and maintenance, service agreement with Evans Time LLC for Parker service agreement, addendum to service agreement with Nature's Way. We have supplement number 1 to service agreement with Ann Chris LLC for facilities maintenance and repair services. Supplement 1 to service agreement with Bruce's Home Improvements for maintenance and repair of overhead doors. The service agreement with Budget Blinds of Bloomington for the replacement of window blinds at fire station number 4, and approval of payroll. Does anything need to be removed from the consent agenda tonight? Doesn't look like it. Any public comment on the consent agenda?
Dana, before we go to public comment, I'll just offer a staff comment on the consent agenda and the supplements and the service agreements. These are just standard service agreements that we have on file so that we can utilize basic services at our facilities. These are all facilities related. So just wanted to add that for a little public commentary.
Thank you. Great.
And otherwise, I do not see anyone offering a public comment via the chat or raising their hand to offer any public comment.
Okay. So I need to take a roll call vote. So Kyla
I was
Cox.
wondering how you do this tonight, because we've never done this. So go ahead.
Yeah, let's see if I do it right.
Yeah, I think one of us will give a motion and another one will give a motion, and then we'll do the roll call. Is that the
a motion, a second, and then the vote?
Okay,
Yes, I would think so.
great. Do we have a motion?
I move approval of the consent agenda.
And I second.
And I will take a roll call vote. Kyla Cox Deckard,
Yes.
Beth Hollingsworth,
Yes.
and Dana Palazzo votes yes. Motion passes. How'd I do?
Work.
Work.
You did it. Okay.
It worked.
Moving on, new business. First up, we have resolution 2021-15, the Bloomington Handmade Market on Kirkwood, Washington to grant.
everyone, Sean Starlitz with ESD. So Saturday, June 12th, 2021, Bloomington Handmade Market will be hosting their summer market on Kirkwood Avenue from Washington to Grant Street. Bloomington Handmade Market is an independent craft fair featuring the work of artists, makers, and craftspersons from all over the Midwest. It began in 2009 and has hosted 16 markets over the past 9 years. This summer, they will take up 2 city blocks to host 25 plus handmade makers selling their wares at a safe distance. Bloomington Handmade Market is planning to partner with various local Kirkwood businesses that are impacted by that closure. They are also requiring masks, having sanitizer and social distancing and health screen to all vendors upon entry. Noise permit is included as part of this resolution. All businesses have been notified of the event and sought for public comment. And the event has been approved by the Monroe County Health Department. And that certificate is included in the packet. And I believe we have Talia Holiday here to answer any questions that the board may have. There's Talia. That's Bloomington Handmade Market. We're excited to have our first kind of festival of 2021.
This is Adam again. And I'll just add, there are, and this is more for the edification of the board and others, just to know that there are ever-changing guidelines that we are seeing come out, just depending on what's going on up at the State House and with the governor's office and all the different legislative, executive actions being taken. And so just for the board and others, we're going to be fluid in this. We're going to see what comes out of Indianapolis, what's put onto the locals in terms of local government agencies and what discretion, decision-making we have, abilities we have. And I appreciate Sean mentioning, that masks would be required. As we move into the future, some of these things may change, but it'll all be based on our compliance with state and local guidelines and, just in compliance with all of that. So just to note that.
I have a comment.
Sure, go ahead, Beth.
Okay, I was downtown or uptown today, I guess I'm calling it now. I was uptown today and was telling a few people about the handmade market, and everyone that I talked with is really excited. They said, we'll be so glad to be out mingling among people. So I think everyone's going to be looking forward to this. It'll be a great thing.
Thanks, Beth. Any other questions from the board?
I have a question and a comment. One question, which I think we covered mostly in the work session, but since Ms. Holliday is here, you can enlighten us on it. Have you been able to reach out to all of the surrounding property owners? And I know that there were some, positive reactions from some property owners and property managers, but just confirming you were able to talk with everyone who's along the route so that they know the plan.
Yeah, I've reached out to everyone, and then we're actually working with Trinity Episcopal Church. I have a meeting with Reverend Matt coming up. We're working with Orange Theory, and we're working with the public library, and trying to continue to reach out, because that's really what we're all about, is to still try to work with even more people. But yeah, I was able to reach out to everybody.
Great, thank you. And then my comment is just that this not only is a great opportunity for us to have an outdoor gathering that we can do in a way that responds to the needs of COVID compliance, but also that this opportunity to use Kirkwood and the infrastructure that has been put in place for safety with the bollards, as opposed to having to have temporary barricades up, is a great opportunity for the city as well.
Awesome, thank you. Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none?
I don't see anything.
Okay, thank you, Adam. Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve Resolution 2021-15, Bloomington Handmade Market on Kirkwood, Washington to Grant, Saturday, June 12th.
And I second.
And I will call for a vote. Kyla Cox Deckard,
Yes.
Beth Hollingsworth,
Yes.
and Dana Palazzo votes yes. Motion passes. Thank you. Next up, we have a road closure request on East Gilbert Drive from Infrastructure Systems, May 12th, 2021 through September 1st, 2021.
Good evening. This is Paul Kerberg with City Engineering. Infrastructure Systems, Inc. is requesting lane closures and possibly a full street closure for work that they're doing for City of Bloomington utilities. They'll be upgrading the sanitary sewer system. They'll be going southeast from North Old State Road 37, under Walnut Street, and through the neighborhood, and then eventually across the bypass over towards the stadium at Dunn Street. They're requesting the following closures. The first is a lane closure on North Martha Street, north of the bypass. And that is from July 1st, 2021 to August 1st, 2021. And then lane and sidewalk closures on North Dunn Street from East Varsity Lane to North Jordan Avenue. That's from July 1st, 2021 to August 1st, 2021. And then a possible full closure, they're not quite sure if they'll need it at this point, is on East Gilbert Drive, just east of North Walnut Street. And that would be starting after this meeting, May 12th, 2021 to September 1st, 2021. And then we've reviewed their maintenance of traffic plans. And they've also sent notices to area property owners to let them know about the project. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Yeah. Along with all the signage you'll be using, are you going to have flaggers for the lane closures and street closures, or will there also be people out there flagging?
Yes, that's the plan, is to have flaggers, especially on Dunn Street.
Okay. Yes, I would think so.
And Dunn will probably be coordinated at the same time as the signal work at 17th and Dunn also,
Oh,
around that
okay.
time. So there'll be a lot less traffic there.
Yeah. I also wanted to ask you, I noticed that the subcontractor is Phil Peden. Is that just for inspections? Is he just going to be inspecting the work?
Yeah, he's the, I guess, over the project at CBU.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Adam again. Phil is the engineer for the City of Bloomington Utilities Department, and
Okay.
serves as project manager. He wouldn't be any type of consultant on the project.
Okay, just a manager. All right, thanks. Just wanted to check what he was doing.
I had a question. I had a little bit of a hard time understanding the maintenance of traffic plan. So as far as impact on pedestrians, I don't see sidewalks closed, and I can't remember exactly what the sidewalk status is, at least on Gilbert. Maybe some of the other sections have sidewalk impacts, but do you know if there are any sidewalks that have to be closed? And if so, is the signage going to direct pedestrians in advance of those closures?
Yeah, the only sidewalk that there is on Dunn Street. None of the other streets have sidewalk. And on Dunn, we'll work with them on the pedestrian detour. There's no sidewalk on the east side of Dunn in that location. And so we'll have to work with them on the detour.
So there'll be a detour that takes pedestrians around the site then, instead of just across the street.
Yes. Yeah.
And then for property owners that are adjacent, especially those on Gilbert, where there might be a full closure, will there be ingress and egress to all of the residences that are there so that they can get into their, respective drives or garages?
Yes, that closure won't affect any driveways.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? Any public comment on this item?
I don't see any.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve road closure request on East Gilbert Drive for infrastructure from Infrastructure Systems, May 12th, 21 to September 1st, 2021.
And I second.
I'll call for a vote. Kyla Cox Deckard,
Yes.
Beth Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Dana Palazzo votes yes. Motion passes. Next up, we have lane closure request on North E Lane from Snuction from May 17th to July 31st, 2021.
This is Paul Kerberg with City Engineering again. Snyder Construction is completing work for Indiana University to install a new steam line that's on North Fee Lane. It's from East 13th Street up to East 17th Street. They're requesting a full street closure from May 17th, 2021 to May 21st, 2021. And during that closure, they will keep the east side sidewalk open. They need to get the steam line across the street. And then from May 21st, 2021 to July 31st, 2021, they're requesting a closure of the northbound lane. And then during that time, the sidewalk on the east side will be closed. And then they have the detour. We are using East 10th Street to Woodlawn back up to 17th. We're trying to avoid any more traffic on 13th Street. And then this is, like I said, it's all IU property around there. And this is for the North Campus housing project they're working on.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Any public comment?
I don't see any.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve the request from Snedeker Construction for lane restrictions on North Fee Lane.
Second.
I'll call for a vote. Kyla Cox Deckard,
Yes.
Beth Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Dana Plaza votes yes. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next up, we have the contract for Morton Street Garage Repairs Project with the new group.
Oh, Ryan Daly, Parking Services. We had open biddings for the Morton Street Garage Repair Project. This is the final set of repairs that we are going to have for the garage as recommended in our repair recommendations from CE Solutions. The repairs are going to include exterior repairs, an expansion joint replacement, sealing of some barrier cables, and stair tread nosing repairs. We solicited 4 companies. We had 3 bid out the project. It was opened up 2 weeks ago. We were selecting the new group for this project as the lowest bidder. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? I just had a question. So I think we had the CE Solutions, was it that gave us these recommendations? Were these, is this a complete list of the recommendations for that garage, or did we select just a couple to do now? And we
No,
might
this is the final bit of repairs for that garage that we've been working on for the last starting in 2018. So this is it.
The last bit.
Yeah, we're done with everything that they had recommended.
Great. Thank you. Any other questions from the board?
I'll just add, if there's one thing we're going to be doing in public works for as long as any of us are around, and hopefully well into the future, is that we will be maintaining our parking structures to the best of our abilities and based on best management practices.
Awesome. Any public comment on this item? Seeing none.
Anything, Dana? Nope.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve the contract for Morton Street Garage Repairs Project for the new group, $75,000.
And I second.
And I'll call for a vote. Kyla Cox Deckard,
Yes.
Beth Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Dana Palazzo votes yes. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have award contract with Milestone Contractors LP for the 7th Street Protected Bike Lane Improvement Project.
Good evening. This is Roy Aiton with City Engineering. This project will install physically protected bike lanes along 7th Street, improve the pedestrian facilities, and improve transit accessibility from the Beeline Trail to Woodlawn Avenue as part of the city's bicentennial bond package. Bids were opened yesterday, May 10th, 2021, from the following 3 contractors: Milestone Contractors with a bid of $2,569,500, Kreider & Kreider with a bid of $2,689,427.45, and EMB Paving with a bid of $2,847,950. Milestone Contractors has been determined to be the lowest responsive and responsible bidder with the bid of $2,572,455. And there's a difference in the bid amount that they had bid and what was read aloud yesterday. What was read aloud yesterday was a math error that they had in their bid package. The actual bid amount is $2,572,455. If awarded, construction on the project will begin in early June and continue throughout the year. During construction, the eastbound lane of 7th Street will be closed to traffic. Additionally, some sidewalk closures and periodic full closures of 7th Street will be required to complete construction. A provision's been included in the contract documents that will require that all the travel lanes and sidewalks east of Indiana Avenue are reopened to traffic prior to August 9th, which is the return to Indiana University students at the end of the summer. Staff has reviewed the Milestone Contractors bid and found it to be the lowest responsive and responsible bid. Available for any questions.
Thank you. Any questions on this item from the board?
When will this project start? You plan to start that?
If we award a contract this evening, then we will issue a notice to proceed probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then try to shoot for construction to begin at the beginning of June.
And how long will this last, do you project?
So this section east of Indiana, then it's to be mostly completed by August 9th before the students come in. Then the rest of the construction will continue on through to November. I think the contract itself, I can't remember. I think it was 180 days, but I'd have to double check to see how many days are written in the contract.
Okay, and we are approving in this contract the lane closures also? Is this all included in the contract, or will you bring those back?
No, yeah, we'll be including the whole package for construction, the maintenance of traffic, and the lane closures also.
But are we hearing the closure plan later, or is that something that we have now?
It's in the project, and we have a maintenance of traffic plan that's in the project itself. We can bring it back to the board if you wish, if you're not comfortable awarding it this evening. But our intention was to go ahead and award the contract and the maintenance of traffic plan this evening. along with.
Yeah,
the
I'll jump in
contract.
here. Again, Adam Wason, Public Works Director. So in the bid documents, there's very specific maintenance of traffic plan requirements as far as meeting MUTCD requirements, how the lane closures would work as far as eastbound closed to traffic, westbound remaining open. In those bid documents, it's very specific, and I'm fully comfortable recommending that based on the information in the bid package and the contract that we'll enter into, that we will have adequate maintenance of traffic plans. And what I would also add is that, you know, with the work sessions and the board meetings that'll be going forward throughout the rest of this project, you know, whether it's offering at every work session a quick update, or what, you know, road closures or lane closures are coming. You know, we can certainly keep the board fully updated on that as the project progresses.
Yes.
And
What's,
I would,
oh, go ahead, sorry.
I would add to what Adam said also, that, you know, through this project, as we're putting the design together, we've worked with Bloomington Transit. We've had 2 public meetings so far. And our latest public meeting was just a couple of weeks ago, where we discussed, you know, what kind of traffic plan will be happening, and with sidewalk closures and businesses and things like that. So we've been kind of open up front with the business and everything. And we're going to work with this contractor throughout the project and keep refining the maintenance of traffic.
Yep. And sorry to just keep piggybacking, Roy and I, we do good at this. We just kind of piggyback each other here. But, you know, the other thing that I can say is that, you know, awarding this contract to Milestone as the lowest responsible and responsive bidder and everything, we've been having great, with all of these companies that bid for this, we've had great success recently on our public relations plans for major projects. Most recently, and what I'd say is that Milestone with the Hidden River project, and so heavily involved with those road closures and things. We've had a great experience on that project with their project managers, Josh Burris in particular. I'll just name him by name. Milestone project manager, that just the responsiveness and the level of outreach and daily communication that's been happening with the Hidden River project. I would expect some, just had great success with the Milestone team lately on all of that. So that's a good indication of things to come, I hope.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. That was my concern too, if you were pleased with Milestone, and you've just answered my question. Thank you.
And so we know that the eastern section of the campus sort of section is planned to be completed around August 9th. What is the duration of the other, like, closure impacts? Like, how long does the rest of the project?
So
November.
after we award the project, we'll get a schedule from the contractor. So they have not given us a schedule yet to get down into the fine points about where they want to move throughout the project. Our goal is to leave as much open to traffic, especially pedestrian traffic, as possible throughout the project, and then close as they go along. So once we get more of a built schedule from the contractor, which they usually will do after award, then we'll fine tune with that and get more details about when the closures will happen.
Okay, any other questions from the board? So Adam, you said we'll probably get some updates as this project gets
Yeah, it's
underway.
going to be a big project that's going to involve a lot of PR and communications from city and contractor and everybody. So we will regularly update the board, both you know, during staff reports, during our official Tuesday evening meetings, and as we need to get into the weeds a little bit more with the work session, the every other week work sessions. And just final point on all this, you know, for Kyla and for the rest of the board, you know, my comments about what was contained in the bid documents in terms of the, you know, the requirements that the contractor is going to be held to and such. It's absolutely standard too for that kind of full Gantt chart of the project schedule to come after the fact. of awarding the contract. That's what we do over the next couple of weeks with them and coordinating, and Roy and his team do a great job of that to, nail down what the plan schedule is and Gantt chart of that and when the impacts will happen so that those communications can occur regularly with the affected property owners and, pedestrians, all those sorts of things.
Awesome. Thank you. This is an exciting project. Okay, any public comment on this item? I don't see or hear any. Do we have a motion?
I move that we award the contract with Milestone Contractors LP for the 7th Street Protected Bike Lane Improvement Project.
And I second.
I'll call for a vote. Kyla Cox Deckard,
Yes.
Beth Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Dana Palazzo votes yes, the motion passes. Next up, we have staff reports and other business.
Yep. Again, Adam Wason, Public Works Director, some staff reports, some topics for a staff report this evening. I want to start by just highlighting a project that we're working very closely with a contractor and Catalent down there off of Strong Drive in Patterson. As many people know, Catalent, local biotechnology firm. I won't get more specific because I'll be way out of my league, but we've got a global international firm that's located in Bloomington that's producing COVID vaccines. Is putting them into the vials and things and packaging, whatnot. With some of their federal requirements with that, they need to put up some security fencing around their parking lots and their buildings. So staff's been working very closely, had a meeting with all representatives to get that worked out today. There's going to be some sidewalk closures along Strong Avenue south of Allen Street. This area receives virtually zero pedestrian traffic on any given day. Due to the speed in which this project needs to take place, I've given a preliminary approval under my authorities to get them going as quickly as possible. And then at your, what would probably be the May 24th or 25th meeting, 25th, I think, we'll come back with a request. They're hopeful to get it done within 4 weeks, possibly up to 6 weeks. But there's some site challenges with slope and fire hydrants and things to try to do any type of walk around in the area. But we met today with Andrew Seabour and Catalent reps and Bill Riggert as their engineer on record, and came to some agreements on how to get this movement as quickly as possible. And I think it's just to the benefit of everyone, maybe including the entire world. I don't know, vaccines are kind of important. Just FYI there. One other thing I wanted to highlight this evening is we've had a fantastic Parks and Rec for a long time, for several years now, has been working with Centerstone and their clients on supportive employment and positions to help city operations. Just want to, say that the Public Works has been doing that now for probably about the last 6 months or so, starting last fall and through the winter, and just we're having great success. We've got Centerstone clients who are, dedicated workers that are coming in each day, helping us with a lot of our beautification projects, our neighborhood cleanup projects, downtown cleanup. Kirkwood has been getting a lot of action, as we all know, and requiring a lot of resources. But just want to say, thanks to Greg May and his team at Centerstone and for the partnership and for the opportunity to work together. It's just been really fabulous, really, really excited about where it's been and where it's headed. We've got some additional funding that we're putting towards that through Recover Forward funds that were dedicated, and just overall, just great partnership, and been really excited to be able to enter into that and have it benefit the whole community. So that's all I've got this evening, but I appreciate each and every one of you.
Thanks, Adam. That is awesome. Go ahead, Beth. Sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, I was driving downtown or stopped at the post office on Walnut Street, and there seems to be a fence going up around the post office. Do you know why?
I'm not specifically aware. I'll take a look here this evening as I head out, but no, I'm not aware of fencing.
North side's up already.
No, really? Yeah.
Right, bordering Seminary Park.
Well,
Yeah.
I would not venture to insinuate that I know exactly why, but I could probably say that, some of the behaviors that occur in seminary from time to time are why the fence might likely be going up.
So this may be a post office initiative.
Yeah, it's definitely, I don't know of any Parks and Rec. I'm positive it's not Parks and Rec. I would have to guess it's either the property owner or the USPS as the tenant.
Yes. So I also wanted to say that I was looking at some old files today, kind of reading a few things, and I came across an agenda for, I don't know the date, in 2018, but there were 19 items on the new business, under new business. That was then.
I'm guessing we're going to get some pretty busy agendas as we head into the summer and with things opening up and events and things like that. So
yeah, it's like, wow, I've forgotten that. Okay. Good meeting.
Thanks, Adam. Okay, next up we have approval of claims. Were there any questions on any of the claims tonight? I don't see any public comment on claims.
no, and I'll just note that Beth and I did have a brief conversation yesterday leading into the work session. She inquired about the Indiana, the AIM municipal, the medical trust payments. And so I was able to, and I'll share with the board. So many years ago, under Daniel Grunman's leadership in the Human Resources Department, the city moved from a self-funded health insurance plan to a pooled plan, which was then under the Indiana Association of Cities and Towns, which is now the Accelerating Indiana Municipalities. They changed acronyms at one point in time here, but so the AIM Medical Trust is what we do our pooled health insurance with other municipalities throughout the state. It's been a great success for us for many years now. It's been a great success just from a cost perspective on providing healthcare for our employees, health insurance. Just to note that our membership in the trust, and based on the size of the city and the number of employees taking advantage, we do also get to serve on that board of directors, which through our Human Resources Department, and allows us to help shape policy with the trust and things like that. And I just wanted to highlight that this evening because it's really been a great benefit to the city.
Yeah, thanks, Hannah.
Great, thanks for that explanation.
And otherwise, I don't see any public comment, Dana.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion on claims?
I move approval of claims $1,507,599.
And I second.
And I'll call for a vote. Kyla Cox Deckard?
Yes.
Beth Hollingsworth?
Yes.
Dana Palazzo votes yes. Motion passes. And I will call for adjournment.
Last thing to note for the meeting minutes, go Indiana Hoosiers men's soccer this weekend as they go to the College Cup.
Awesome.
Go Hoosiers.